AFL Nation for the Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for $5.95 at Macca's. And Liquorland, easy to shop with over 700 stores.
And Hamble comes to Brown on the boundary, tries to thread the needle! And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the TAC help us towards zero goal of the day. That was from the boundary line and went straight through the middle. Never looked like missing. Brown's got two. Hooker to Ridley, inside defensive 50, goes short. Oh, no! Disaster. Redmond overran it. Brown from point blank. And we need the Benny Hill music after that one, as Brown gets his first for the afternoon.
Third quarter highlights for the TAC. More drug tests, more places, more often. TAC, towards zero.
In all honesty, we could have used quite a bit of Benny's music this afternoon, because the scoreboard tells the story. At three-quarter time here at Marvel Stadium, Essendon are 13-11-89, leading North Melbourne 4-12-36. Before we hear from our Red Energy expert, Liam Pickering, let's go down to the boundary line for Spitwater. And Mitch, what have you got for us?
Paul Hearn had a bit more work done on that finger during the break. He's starting on the bench. On the other side, Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody starting on the bench with that Corkies. We might see a bit more of that during the final term. And Pickers, all North can do is perhaps just try and win this quarter.
Well, they've got to win this quarter. They've got to show something to their supporters, and 48,000 have turned up today.
There's not that many now. There's a lot of empty seats.
Well, people are pretty disgusted by their effort so far.
Final quarter underway. Here's Steve Quartermain.
So 89 plays 36 as the ball goes down for the final quarter. AFL Nation thanks to Macca's and to Liquorland as the Kangaroos go into attack through Cunnington. Oh, a juggling mark, a good mark taken by Hooker, who didn't like the attention dished out by Zurho. He said, umpire, where's my 50? Didn't get one. But more importantly for Essendon, he's got the football. So Hooker inside defensive 50. Kicks towards Stringer, couldn't take the mark, picked up by Goldstein. To Pollock, gave it to Pittard, two former Port Adelaide players combined. Kicks towards Brown, that's a free kick, surely. Yeah. Well, the umpire right in front didn't pay it, but the non-controlling umpire did, and it was definitely there. No doubt about that, it's a free kick to Brown.
So after the opening bounce for Tyre Power, massive Easter sale catalogue online now, Brown has the opportunity. Quarters of kicking his second for the afternoon and evening.
He's all arms and legs, isn't he? Sometimes you can forgive people for thinking that he might be staging, but that was definitely a free kick.
He pulled him by the back arm. That's why the umpire in the front of the we can talk for another 5 minutes, because that's when he'll have his shot. Dave didn't give the free because the guy at the back had a perfect view.
Yeah, it was definitely there. So Brown for his second, could be kicking from 45 metres out. Drop putt on its way, misses. So 1 goal, 2 for Ben Brown. And on, let's see where we're up to, Sandy. Just turn the page. The Repco authorised service centre scoreboard. It's 89 playing 37.
Guelphy thinks about Heppel short and thinks about going and making the switch, and he does. To the outer side, and Hooker, who thought about going over the top to the speedster Saad, now goes back and kicks down the line, long and low. Interesting kick. May open the door for the Kangaroos if they can get clear. In towards half forward. Now Hall with a high ball. That's almost hit the lights. Hall's kick in towards full forward, and Hooker is there once again. Mr. Reliable on the last line of defence finds Guelphy on half back. He was off. He's got players running. Shield and Merritt, probably the two best players on the ground at the moment. That's Shield combining with Danaher, and he just ambles. Interesting kick. Not what he had in mind. Tarrant a chance now to pick it up and make amends. Cunnington sweeps it wide, giving ground to Pittard. Pittard looks into towards the middle of the ground. Saad got a hand to it. He did it beautifully. Brown was the one doing the scouting, taking the crumbs. He goes towards Orazio Fantasia, who needs a kind bounce. Heads away from him and towards the boundary line, over the line for a throw-in.
And to make Liam Pickering look like a genius, he also needs another goal, Sandy.
He does.
He's got 4.
To get his hand full, yeah, absolutely. I think he will end up with at least one more. In fact, I'm going to say 2. End up with 6 big ones.
Don't get too keen on yourself.
Well, they haven't even got warmed up yet in this quarter. They've been just mucking around with it.
50 out from Essendon's goal. Higgins is there for the Kangas. Got it to Turner, to Cunnington. Back to Turner. A little inside out number. It was okay.
found a teammate.
Really looked to play on, mate.
Dumont
So
kicks
slow.
out wide to Simpkin, who's got it on the halfback flank, city side of the ground. The Roos are going to right of your dial in the final quarter, or the southern end, here at Marvel Stadium. Good Friday night football.
Yeah, you can say that with confidence now. It's got dark outside.
It's been dark inside all day as the roof
Doesn't mean it's
was
night
closed.
time. Doesn't mean it's night time.
They're just stuttering, though, aren't they? These short kicks.
Higgins.
Look at this, though. This is just
A
a big
long
hope.
ball inside 50. Brown in front. Hooker does the spoiling. Hamble comes out to Pollock. Finds some space. Oh, I missed.
Yep.
Bad miss
Well, a long way.
Jared Pollock. It is Essendon 13-11-89. The Roos move on to 4-14-38. 4 minutes final term on the Repco authorised service centre scoreboard.
Well, we're going to have plenty of time to take...
This is real junk time already, isn't it?
It is.
Parish.
It's going to be a very short quarter, I reckon.
Hurley.
At this rate.
And the great Paul van der Haar's jumper. Brown marks at half-back. Goes inboard to Hooker.
It's a pity this game is just petering at the moment, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's such a big
Hurley
build-up.
again, off to Sard. Gets the skates on, as we know he can. Goes short. That's all right. Finding McKenna. Bombers next week, of course, have the big game. Anzac Day, and what a day it is. And I'm sure Nathan Buckley will be keeping a close eye on this and mightn't be all that concerned with the opposition that the Bombers are facing at the moment. Turned over again. McKenna goes short. That's going to be okay. And Bagley up to half forward. Loose players everywhere, but some sloppy work. That was Fantasia. He'll try and make amends now. He keeps it in play. Dribble kick. Clean bowls. Just about all of them except Pittard on the last line of defence. Opens the door for Stringer, who takes it from Big Tom, and he kicks the goal. How easy is that as Stringer gets his second, and the Bombers continue to cruise, opening up once again a margin in excess of 10 goals.
Having a quick look at the car sales replay. Oh my God. This sums up North Melbourne's day. The 3 players overran that. And they ended up just letting the Essendon player in. He just got it across, I think it was Belchames, across to Stringer, and thanks very much. Stringer said, I'll have that. Thank you. That's 2 for me now.
Big Tom's had an interesting day in front of goal, hasn't he?
Well, except for that one time where he actually thought he was a midfielder and started to think like a midfielder. The reality was he's actually played pretty well.
Has he won that contest against Goldstein?
I think he's slightly on top, yeah.
On the Repco authorised service centre scoreboard, Essendon 14-11-95, North Melbourne 4-14-38.
AFL Nation, 4 Maccas. Goldstein the tap to Anderson, but nicely wrapped up and tackled by Shield, forces the spillage, picked up by Belchambers, hacks it to half forward, is marked by Danaher. What are his numbers, Liam Pickering? He's 60 metres out from goal.
Well, he's just starting to get up a little bit. He's number 7 disposal.
He says, I'm going to have a shot for goal. He's going to have to kick this 65 metres.
He's a thumping kick.
He can.
All right.
I think the distance isn't beyond him.
So Joe Danaher has kicked 1 goal 1 so far in this match. Both in the first quarter those scores came. Coming up for his 7th disposal. He goes bang with a big kick. It's close. It's close. Magnificent. Have a look at him. He's being almost cheered off the ground. What a magnificent kick to Danaher. And that is a TAC help us towards 0 goal of the day. That was an extraordinary kick.
He's got a bit of Buddy Franklin about him, Joe, when he goes back from a long range with that big left foot. You think it's not beyond him. And no other player would have tried that without kicking a torpedo. And that was a drop punt from every bit of 65 metres in my view. Beautifully called by you, Escort of Maine. And it got there, and it got there quite easily, really. Considering, and then he looked around, have a look at me. I'm back, baby. 2 big ones for him today. Well done.
Special comments from our Red Energy expert, Liam Pickering. Higgins out of the middle, virtually soccers it down towards half forward. Trying to charge through was Redmond. Higgins just hit and hope with a high ball that goes towards the 50. McGrath edged out of it. Hurley gets a short kick. Zeeble, was it a high ball? And marked on the very last line of defence.
It was Higgins.
Higgins, was it?
Yeah, it was Sean Higgins. There was
a chance to clear. Ambrose to the far side. Kangas sending it back again through Anderson. Parrish through, but without the footy. Brown a chance, and he takes the mark. Footy coming from Zeeble, and Brown will go back again now. Distance not a problem. But he's had trouble with the accuracy today.
He's
kicked a couple.
This year, hasn't he? His kicking hasn't been as good as it has been in previous seasons.
And I don't know whether it's just me that thinks this, but I think he's going back further. So, mate,
are you saying too far?
I think he's going back way too far.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still get a running bit of momentum up without going back.
He started and he's still 50 behind. He's going to be kicking from probably 45. Still he comes. The drop punt. It's a better looking strike, and he gets the goal. So Brown has his second after 4 goals 2 last week. And on the Repco authorised service centre scoreboard, Essendon are 15-11. They've hit the ton. 101. North Melbourne are 5-14-44. Just on 10 minutes gone on the Kubota drive time sale clock.
Yeah, look at Ben Brown, and I do think he's going back too far. You know, that's North Melbourne's first goal from a set shot today. Yeah, first goal from a set shot, and they have had some sodas too they've missed. So
they've only got 5.
Yeah, I know, but they've had 6 opportunities from pretty easy shots to kick goals, and that's the first time they've been able to convert this afternoon.
AFL Nation for Liquorland, easy to shop with over 700 stores. What's happened here? A warning, is it?
Sounds like a warning, yep. Joe, I think it was Joey.
Okay, so a warning.
Back in there, big man. It's your first game, we know it, but you're knocking up the rules.
Against the Bombers. Bill Chambers to tap. The shark though was taken by Davies Uniacke. Cunnington has his handball smothered. Merritt into the picture for the Bombers. Can't quite pick it up. Good work by Goldstein to Cunnington. Oh, here we go. Here's Davies Uniacke. Runs to 45 but misses to the left. That was one of their best pieces of flowing play for the day, but they couldn't finish it off with a goal. 101 plays 45. 11 minutes gone, final turn.
Oh, it was a rare.
Poor kick out by the young man. And Mason Wood.
This is no certainty, I tell you. The way he's kicking.
No, not the way Mason is. He's had a horrible day in front of goals when it comes to opportunities missed.
Missed 2 easy ones in the first quarter, Sandy.
Yeah, he did. Just playing his 3rd game for the season. Distance is not a problem, but let's say the accuracy is. That's terrible. That is terrible.
Oh, look at
it's just in for a behind.
Ben Cunnington looked at him and went, seriously, Mace? He did. He had his arms out. And Ben Cunnington's a real desperate team man, and he knows those things really hurt a
25 metres out he was.
Guelphy and Heppel combining to go towards centre wing. Fantasia was at the back, couldn't take the mark. Sam Wright overruns it. Fantasia goes again. Hand pass into the middle, and he takes it back again. Goes wide to the outer side. The race is on. An opportunity for Redmond. Gets a kind bounce with Zeeble in hot pursuit. Redmond goes backwards, but it's okay. Gives it to Hurley. Hurley looks wide towards the wing. Goes back yet again. Now they've got a chance to go up towards the half-forward line. Kick has got to be good, and it is. Brown takes the mark.
Geez, a good foil up there, isn't he, Brown?
Yep.
He's become a really important player, as has Sean McKernan when he's available too, by the way. Takes a bit of pressure off Danaher. Stringer gives him a bit of X-factor. They have got a powerful forward line now.
Kicking for his 3rd goal. He took 11 marks against the Lions last week. That's a good-looking strike again. Boy, are we seeing some good goals. Brown gets his 3rd. The route continues. 16-11-107 to 5-16-46. That is on the Repco authorised service centre scoreboard.
Good finish, Mitch Brown. He's kicked probably the goal of the day. A toss-up, I guess, between that and the Joe Danaher 65-metre bomb for goal of the day, but he just reads the game well. He's taken some nice marks.
Smart footballer, isn't he?
Yeah, he has been smart. He's been constructive. He's missed 2 that he would have probably normally kicked. So he could have had a fiver. This is unbelievable.
So Essendon, there is 8 teams in the 8, all with 12 points.
Well, the Bombers on the current live ladder.
The live ladder I'm talking about.
That's about as useless as an Astro on a motorbike at this stage of the year, of course, round 5. But at the moment, they're 5th.
From the centre bounce, Essendon regain possession. Heppel to the run of Sard, gives it off to Myers on the left boot.
It's a good kick.
That's
Myers.
a beautiful kick on the Medallion Club wing, inside 50, right down the throat of Jake Stringer, who once again turns his back on play and says, I'll have a shot from 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And Jake Stringer, the Sabo, and kicked 2 goals.
Yeah, no, but that's just going to start wearing thin on some players pretty soon. Pretty quickly, this take a mark and then just walk back and look at the goals. Don't even look for anyone else. You're going to get jack of that pretty quick, I would think.
So Stringer for his 3rd.
Very close to the man in the mark.
And he's hooked it slightly to the left. 2 goals, 2 for Jake Stringer in the Good Friday match. Essendon 16-12-108 on the Repco authorised Service Centre scoreboard. Kangas 5-16-46. The margin is 62 points at the 14-minute mark of the final term.
And Pickers, I'm assuming that both Devon Smith and Zaharakis will be right for Anzac Day?
I would assume so, Sandy, as we get that familiar waft of deep heat
come through, hasn't it?
How much are they slapping on these players? Honestly, underneath us here in the Essendon dugout. It's coming up into the commentary box. I mean, I know I've got a big nose, but crikey.
Rightio, here's Heppel. A high ball up towards the 50, and McMillan takes a defensive mark.
I'm just glad I wasn't the only one that could smell it.
Oh, it's powerful, isn't it? McMillan's, that's short and dangerously so to Zerha. Belted away by Heppel. And Zerha won't get there in time. It's over the line.
Yeah, Dylan Shield, he hasn't had a lot of minutes in the last quarter. Dylan Shield, he's still on the bench. Hooker's come back on now, probably for another 5 or 6 minutes.
But that's probably by design, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Looking ahead to next week.
Well, I would be, because it's a 6-day break if I was the coach.
There was a not so subtle shove by Big Joe. He's obviously excited to be back.
Well, that's a very, very good way to describe it. Not so subtle. It was very... Oh, dear. How obvious was that?
Zerha. Goes down towards Simpkin. Can't complete a contested mark. And so goes off for a spell.
Shields saying, come off. I want to get the numbers up over 30
Yeah, he's
here.
got a chance now.
Well, he's already got 29.
So Shield back on. Parrish off. Danaher doing the ruck work. Cunnington do the scouting, couldn't take it cleanly, but he accepts it from Higgins. Cunnington goes further afield, gives it to Sam Wright, comes back towards centre wing. Bombers an opportunity now through Merritt. Merritt to Hooker.
Oh.
Hooker goes short to Hurley. Didn't get there in time. Jack Zeeble beat him to it. But he's able to tidy up, get the hand pass way towards Ridley. Ridley goes wide to the outer side. The race is on. The boundary line will be the winner here. And we've got a throw in front of the scoreboard here at Marvel that sees Essendon 16-12-108, North Melbourne 5-16-46, 17 minutes gone. Final quarter, that is on the Kubota Drive Time Sale Clock.
At the conclusion of this match around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse, we're over to the west where the Eagles will host Port Adelaide. And if history repeats itself, we're in for a thriller. Always close matches between those two teams.
Pretty wet over there too.
Here goes Waller.
Essendon have possession. McDonald, Tipperwoody in the middle of Marvel Stadium. Little fancy sidestep. Now kicks inside 50, but poor kick, very poor kick, straight down the throat of Thompson, who kicks the centre half back and finds a teammate in McMillan, who kicked to the Medallion Club wing, and he finds Scott. So Scott kicks the half forward, and his kick's good too. It finds Hall. Waiting for the lead from Zeeble. Now it comes, and beautiful use of the body by Zeeble. Takes the mark, plays on, hemmed in on the boundary, centering kicks a beauty. Marked by Cunnington, goal. Well, that was all too easy. That was really well worked by the Kangaroos. In fairness, though, to the Bombers, the heat is well and truly out of the game, but it's a consolation goal for North Melbourne, kicked by Ben Cunnington. Essendon 16-12-108. The Kangaroos 6-16-52. 18 minutes gone, final term on the Repco scoreboard.
Well, he keeps trying and trying and trying and trying, Ben Cunnington, doesn't he? You take your hat off to him. He's a terrific footballer.
Nothing fancy about him, but gets the job done every week.
Well, he's had 27 disposals, 15 contested.
What about metres gained?
47 metres. It's not enough. He doesn't kick it enough for mine. He has a bit more in this last quarter. It's got him out of the negatives.
Hope you're enjoying AFL Nation for Macca's. The Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for $5.95 at Macca's. And of course, Liquorland. Easy to shop there with over 700 stores. Bell Chambers out of the middle. Shield, arguably the best player on the ground, takes it back, and the old 1-2 puts it out wide. An opportunity for McKenna. He goes towards the half-forward line. Some of the youngsters have done all right for
the first game of Ham.
Yeah, for Essendon today, and Ham is one of them. A late inclusion, but he's done a good job. Kicks to the 50, no one able to take it out cleanly. Eventually it comes wide to Wright, who gives it to McMillan, who just got away, tried to get it down towards Dumont. Now he's got a problem. Towards the boundary line goes Wright, almost taken over, but flicked the ball back into play. No one cleanly away. Brown is at the bottom. That is Essendon's Brown. And we've got a stoppage.
A few North Melbourne fans bailing out now. He's thinking, oh, just about out of guts for today.
Well, many might say they've been quite patient. Here's Shield again. A high ball in towards full forward. McMillan at the back, getting a fist to it and pushing it over the line. Conceding one behind. 19, almost 20 minutes gone in this final quarter on the Kubota Drive Time Sale clock.
Roos bring it back into play. Good mark by McGrath. Outmark Cunnington. Gave it to Merritt. Merritt goes to the 50. Yet another stat for Shield, who wants to swing onto the left. He does so now. He has a ping towards the goal. Danaher couldn't quite get there. The big double fist save came from Tarrant, who knocked it through for a rush behind. The Bombers 16-14, 110. North Melbourne 6-16, 52. The margin 58 points, 20 and a half gone final term. On the kick in, it's marked by Cunnington, who goes into the middle to Zurha. Again, it's well worked by the Roosters. They go inside 50. Wood doesn't even want to kick for goal. Goes short and sideways and says, "You do the job, please, teammate." And the mark is taken. I think that's a Hearn.
Yeah, it is
a Hearn. And a Hearn will line up absolutely directly in front, kicking from 30 metres out.
Well, that's pretty disappointing for Mason Wood, really. He really needs to work out a way to kick these ones himself.
Only ninth disposal for Ahern. That's a very quiet day for him, but he's managed to kick that goal. Paul Ahern. 16-14, 110 Essendon. North Melbourne 7-16, 58, 21 minutes gone. Final term on the Repco scoreboard.
I think North Melbourne might be slightly in front of winning a quarter. Is that right? Are they a point up in this quarter? Is that right?
4-12. They've gone to 7-16, which is 3 goals 4. Essendon have gone from 13-11 to 16-14, 3 goals 3.
Next week, the Kangaroos make the trip over to Port Adelaide. Friday night football.
I hope they don't dish this up next Friday night.
Then they've got Carlton at Marvel, the Cats at Marvel, the Swans.
Not liking too many of these for them.
And then the Bulldogs.
Oh, look, they've got to play better than they have. They've played half a decent game for the year, really, which was last week.
Here's Davies Uniacke trying to get away from the centre bounce, but the ball is locked up. Merritt has got him well and truly in a fine tackle. Shield is there as well, but we've got another stoppage.
Yeah, we are going to have is time to take some angry talkback calls, I would have thought, post-game.
From the bounce once again. Who can get it out? G. Anderson was fierce in the tackle, as we know he always is. And a free kick is going to go North Melbourne's way, to be taken by Higgins.
He's got his numbers up to 27 now.
Higgins towards Brown and co. There was a big pack of players. Brown recovers, but the boundary line wins, and Zurha sees it over the line.
I can't remember who it was, but they said, but if you are a modern-day midfielder, you should be racking up 25 without trying.
You should be.
Yeah. Here we go, Sandy. 48,278. That is a absolutely brilliant crowd. Well done to the Roos and the Bombers supporters, and a few neutrals, I'm sure, as well.
I wish they could put the current crowd up now.
Shame it was such an ordinary game.
Merritt.
Unless you're a Bombers fan, of course.
No, that's right. They'll be here for the song. Short to Danaher, who's come back, is complete now, getting a game under his belt and getting ready for Anzac Day.
I reckon we've lost at least a third of the crowd, haven't we?
Yep, I would say so.
Yeah.
Towards centre wing, McMillan dropped perhaps what he should have taken. Merritt, a little bit of magic there. Myers tries to soccer off the ground. Tarrant lost it. Parrish threw it ahead. Brown goes to ground. That was the bomber, Brown. Higgins says, I'll just smash it out of the way and hope for the best. And he does, and it goes straight to Conor McKenna, who kicks wide to the outer side. Guelphy's got to beat a couple. Now he gets support. The door opens for Guelphy again, but he gets claimed finally. Ham works hard, couldn't get it out cleanly. Kangas have got the numbers if they can pick it up. Hall tries to, he dropped it. Then his hand pass was loose into no man's land, and it's all Essendon as Merritt will set it up to come away once again. Heppel takes it on half back.
Yep, gets the handball from Hurley, and Heppel goes back inside defensive 50, a long way to Hooker. Bit of a tricky one for the big fella to pick up, but he did it in the end. Gives the handball back to Hurley. Left foot kick, half back flank, Dockland side of the ground, pack fly, off hands, throw in. So the state of play here, 24 and a half gone final quarter. It's on the half forward flank, Northern to attack, southern end of the ground, Medallion Club side, but they're a long way behind. The Bombers 110, the Roos are 58. Great afternoon for Essendon as they look ahead towards Anzac Day. Very poor result for the Kangaroos.
A couple of good percentage builders the last 2 weeks, haven't they, the Bombers?
Shield with just superb acceleration, splits the pack open, has a bounce, handballs to Heppel, gives it to McGrath. He's got Merritt riding shotgun, and he gets the handball received now. Takes it to half forward, kicks to the tip of the goal square, and it's the first gamer. Braden Ham on Good Friday.
Look at him.
Not much of him. He's listed as 70 Ks. I reckon it's more like about 64. But it was a really good mark from Ham. And he will line up at the northern end, directly in front. As good as directly in front. 12 metres out from goal.
For a moment that he will never forget, Quarters, so long as it's straight.
So long as it's straight. Braden Ham.
Should get around him.
First game for Essendon. Brings home the bacon. And every Essendon player runs to him and gives him a pat on the head, and why not? 17-14, 1-1-6 the Bombers. The Kangaroos 7-16-58. My apologies for the poor joke.
You couldn't help yourself.
No, I couldn't help myself.
How could you not go with that? I loved it.
Good on the young fella in his first game of AFL football. He's kicked a goal.
Well done. It was a good mark too. Lovely play again. Yeah. The usual suspects involved. Shield. He got it across to Heppel. He got it across to Merritt. Merritt got it in there. They're the three players that just dominated the middle of the ground today, those three.
And they're all back there in the middle once again with big Tom Bell Chambers. Goldstein is flanked by Cunnington and Higgins. Here's the bounce. Cunnington couldn't take it. Higgins is claimed. Gets a short kick. Not a lot in it, but then Davis Uniacke says, I'll go long. I'll show you long. And he did, but a fine defensive mark is taken by Hooker.
They're a better team with Hooker in.
Oh, no question about that. Yeah, no question. And they'll be a better team again with Zaharakis in. They'll be a better team again with Devon Smith. And better again with Sean McKernan.
Guelphy had front spot. Merritt short. Clever kick in the end. Stringer short as well, but that's not quite as good. Just a little too close to the boundary line, unable to keep it in. So we've got a throw in.
So they might be a bit better again. All in all.
Hooker better down back than forward?
I think he is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's a pinch hitter at best in the forward line.
Yeah.
Bell Chambers trying to find Heppel. Higgins over the top. Has he got a problem? No. It was held in. So the Kangas will try and regroup for Port Adelaide. No easy task. Cunnington ridden into the ground by Heppel. Illegally, says the umpire.
Strap a saddle on him.
He could have. Ben Cunnington. You'll always get 100% from him.
No doubt about that.
Short to McMillan. who goes towards Brown territory. Hooker at the back. Sard, Hurley, McKenna to the outer side. Bagley uses the body.
Oh, that's not a free kick.
Edged him out.
That's not a free kick.
The umpire said it was, and he's got it. And that's a great mark taken by Sard. That is definitely a Glenn Cameron Group can-do mark of the day.
Yeah, it was a good mark. I just think that they call tunnelling now for when you legitimate use of your body in a marking contest. I don't like it.
Merritt's waxing with Shield, who marks in the true centre half back position. He wants to switch to the Medallion Club side. He goes backwards a little bit. The mark's taken by Redmond. Redmond kicks to the wing, and he missed the target, which was Merritt. And it goes over the line for a throw-in. 29 minutes gone. It's the Bombers 116, thrashing the Kangaroos 58.
There's a couple of those defenders, those young defenders like Redmond and Ridley and that. And these type of players, they're not bad players. Quite underrated.
Belch chambers the tap, sorry, Sandy, and it goes to Merritt. He gives it off to Parrish.
And Parrish, despite the attention from Cunnington, finds Higgins. Higgins kicks in towards the middle once again. Simpkin just trying to push the ball along. Now he needs support from a teammate. He gets it. Polak, who's been quiet in the second half. So to Pittard, although he's tried hard. Kangas will just, if this is the last rights now, and he'll just come back short to Tarrant, who takes the mark. But today it's all about the Essendon Football Club. They were 0-2 and looking in trouble. They've recovered magnificently, finding themselves in the 8 at 3-2. Let's listen to the song.
See the Bombers fly up, up. We are the teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get in as the Bombers fly up.
They led it every quarter, the Bombers, by 10 at quarter time, 36 at the half, 53 at three-quarter time, and they won the last quarter. Liam Pickering, so they did the job every term to double North Melbourne's score. 17-14, 116, 58-point winners over the Kangaroos, 7-16, 58.
See the Bombers fly up, up to win the premiership flag. Our boys who play this scramble game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up. We are the teams they don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get in as the Bombers fly up.
For the winners, Orazio Fantasia booted 4. 3 goals to Mitch Brown. 2 apiece to Danaher, including a monster long bomb in the final term. Also 2 to McGrath, Stringer and McDonald tipping Woody, and 1 apiece to Ambrose and Braden Ham in his first game of AFL football. Pretty sorry scoreboard for the Roos. 2 to Brown and 1 apiece to Cunnington, Polak, Ahern, Pittard and Zurha. The Bombers by 58 points in front of a magnificent crowd of 48,278 on this Good Friday.
Yeah, they were terrific. Absolutely terrific today, the Bombers.
Pickers, what are the greatest problems facing Brad Scott?
Well, his team go into preservation mode when they're challenged. They won't play in a forward momentum. They certainly didn't want to this afternoon. They're a reactive side, North Melbourne, and their ball use isn't up to AFL standard on today's performance, especially their kicking skills. They were just deplorable. The fact that they were allowed Essendon players to play on and play the game style they wanted to play today would tell me that his team's got some issues. And it may very well be on-field leadership, I don't know, but they just didn't seem to have any direction with the way they were moving the ball today.
Gee, it sets up a ripping Anzac Day match, doesn't it? Big win for Collingwood, big win for Essendon, both in the top 8.
Yeah. Oh, well, and both Look, Essendon, I was a bit worried about, I must say, early after their first couple of weeks. But
there was all sorts of rumours flying around.
And then, they had that really good win against the odds against Melbourne when no one thought they'd win. And then they come out and pump Brisbane to the tune of 10 goals, or 8 goals. They come out today and pump North Melbourne by 10 goals. And they're two teams they should beat if they're going to finish, somewhere high on the ladder. Because I think most people didn't have Brisbane or North Melbourne in the 8.
No.
I mean, some probably had Brisbane back in the 8 after round 3, but their form line isn't as bad as it probably looks to a win against Brisbane and North Melbourne, given Brisbane were undefeated when they played Essendon.
So just repeating the final scores, Essendon 17-14, 116, double North Melbourne score. 7-16-58. We got a good 35 minutes, so we can probably take some calls and discuss in detail some of the North Melbourne players. But let's pick one out. For example, Mason Wood should have had 2 goals in the first quarter. What were his final numbers? Finished with 3 behinds and really missed 3 goals he should have kicked.
Yeah, 12 disposals, 9 kicks, 3 handballs. He was kicking at around about 50%.
What about the skipper?
He was stinker today, Jack Zeeble. 6 disposals. 91 metres gained. So he had a very poor afternoon, Jack Zeeble.
Higgins was very quiet, particularly in the first half.
He had a good second half. His numbers will tell you he played a lot better than he actually did, in my view. Or the impact he had on the game was minimal. 30 disposals in the end, though. 4 inside 50s, 415 metres gained. I mean, he at least kept going and going and going and at least worked himself into a position where you could say afterwards that, look, I got something out of this game. And it was probably the only thing, when I say that, I don't mean him, at least he got something himself out of the game. He got something out of this game because he was a pretty ordinary starter. Like, he didn't play well to start, but he didn't just say that was not my day. He went out and he did something about it and at least fought it out to get himself a half respectable afternoon.
Well, if you're a delighted Bombers fan or a very disgruntled Kangaroo supporter, here's the Liquorland Open line number 1300 736 736. So give us a call if you choose. 1300 736 736. The Liquorland Open line. Easy to shop with click and collect at Liquorland.
What about some of the younger guys for North Melbourne Pickers? I speak of people like Bailey Scott, Jai Simpkin.
Yeah, they're both
pretty
quiet
today.
Kane Turner.
Well, Kane Turner only had 12 disposals.
Davies Uniacke.
Simpkin 11.
He tried Davies Uniacke.
He tried. His
numbers weren't great though.
Nah, just 14 disposals. He got a lot of those late. Look, I'm not sure what the role is of Kane Turner, to be perfectly honest. He never gets many more than about 6 or 8 touches. He's not a tackling machine by any stretch. He had 1 tackle today. Did he have a tackle? He might not have had one. He had 3 tackles, I should say, but he just doesn't get enough of the ball, Kane Turner. And if you're going to play in the forward line as you look at the good Hawthorn sides and these type of teams, they've got their blokes tackle. And, it's not all about tackles, but pressure you put on.
The ball just came out way too easily today out of North's forward line.
Their back line North Melbourne's back line was well beaten today. Like, just lacked any sort of positivity. Their forward line was non-existent all afternoon, and their midfield was thrashed. It's going to be pretty hard to win a game of football.
That's why they lost by 10 goals.
Exactly. And that's probably being nice. They were thrashed. They were absolutely belted today for the whole game.
And what it has done, it's helped their percentage. But right now, let's go down to the rooms and listen to the song. Yeah, they're pretty happy. Post-game celebrations in the rooms, the Bomber rooms for Giant Bicycles factory-backed sale. We thank them for their support as well. So if you have just tuned in, or if you've been out on Good Friday for the day, Essendon big winners here at Marvel Stadium, doubling North Melbourne's score with a 58-point victory. In just a moment, we're going to be speaking with Dylan Shield, who just run through his stats for us, will you, Pickers?
He was terrific today.
Just about BOG, wasn't he? Not that I'm trying to influence you, Liam.
Well, 36 disposals, 10 inside 50s and 866 metres gained. He's going to be hard to beat. He's going to be hard to beat.
And that just reminded the Liquorland open line. You want to give us a call, 1300 736 736. I'm interested if you're a Kangaroos fan and totally disgruntled. When did you leave the game? Because we had 48,000 here.
Cleared out pretty quick.
I'll tell you what, by the start of the final term, Sandy, I reckon we would have lost
a third.
Lost a third at least.
Yep.
So 1300 736 736 is the Liquorland open line. And as we said, it sets up a fantastic Anzac Day Thursday match between Essendon and Collingwood.
We'll take a break. When we come back, though, stay with us because we're going to be talking to Dylan Shield, who was outstanding here today at Marvel and one of the engineers in Essendon's 58-point win here on AFL Nation.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Repco Authorised Service.
I'm Aaron from Flow Motion Plumbing and Roofing. I drive a Renault Traffic. Love driving it. I was actually shocked about how much they put in it for what you pay for it. Features are great. Can't really complain about it, to be honest. It's ticked all the boxes for me. The thing I love about the Renault Traffic is the fuel economy. Really good considering how big the van is. I really like the size of it. It fits 3 people perfectly. The Renault Traffic, it's my van.
Renault Traffic, trade alike from $29,990 drive away.
The latest design trend is colour. Pinks, blues.
And to help colour your world, Beaumont Tiles are giving you a $500 gift voucher.
Oh, I'd love a blush pink bathroom.
And that $500 voucher, no doubt.
Yes, please, with tiny T's and C's too.
Beaumont Tiles, looking good at a showroom near you.
The cash is falling off the trees during the autumn sale at New Age. For the entire month of April, receive up to $2,500 cashback with any new stock van. Buy the Road Owl, Gecko or Manta Ray and get $1,500 cashback. Buy the Big Red Oz Classic or Desert Rose and get $2,500 cashback. All stock clearance vans come with cashback during the New Age autumn sale. Wayfinder and used caravans not included. Visit your local dealer for full terms and conditions. Thinking caravans? Think New Age.
Riddle me this.
You can see me,
but you don't always notice me.
You might meet me at any time on any day.
But I always introduce myself first.
I might be a woman.
Or a man.
Everyone has my number.
And I'm always there when you call.
You could see me in a car.
Or on a motorbike.
I often stand out.
But when needed, I blend in.
I am Victoria Police.
With more ways to conduct roadside drug tests than ever before, you never know when police will test you next. TAC. Towards zero.
Do you need compressed air? Peerless is the brand for you. With over 60 years experience in the manufacturing of air compressors and a range from direct drive home handyman models right up to screw compressors for manufacturing plants, tyre service centres and service trucks. Plus our famous slow revving cast iron belt drive range with 5-year pump warranties. Peerless have a compressor for you. When it comes to the supply of high quality compressed air, remember, Peerless, we are air. Available through all leading industrial tool stores. Peerless, we are air.
The SEN AFL commentary team this season are travelling with Samsonite, the leaders in light and strong luggage. With tremendous innovation and a 10-year global warranty, whenever the team fly interstate, they'll be packing their Samsonite.
This weekend, 11:16 SEN footy heads up to Canberra for the clash between GWS and Fremantle, Saturday from 1:45pm. Then on Sunday, the team broadcast from Marvel Stadium for the Western Bulldogs Carlton match from 1:10pm.
Wherever we go in 2019, the SEN AFL commentary team travel with Samsonite, the leaders in light and strong luggage.
Don't chase the dream, own it. Freedom is now more affordable at Harley Heaven. The Harley Heaven High Performance Low Rate Finance promotion is on now. Ride away in selected 2019 Harley-Davidson motorcycles with low rate finance deals. Book a test ride now at Harley Heaven, the home of Harley-Davidson. Melbourne, Ringwood and Dandenong. Approved customers only. T's and C's at harleyheaven.com.au.
Sick of layers of dust around you at work? Issues getting rid of sticky grease and oil off your tools and floors? Get the best cleaning gear from Karcher, offering the widest range of commercial cleaning equipment from pressure washers to floor scrubbers and sweepers to vacs. Karcher, no effort, full power, job done.
Toyota value just keeps going and going. You'll be feeling it with a great deal on the Hilux 4x4 SR5 double cab pickup. And you'll be still feeling it with zero on-road costs. That's free rego, CTP and dealer delivery, and no stamp duty. It's all possible with the unbreakable Hilux. See your local Toyota dealer or search Toyota Value. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota. Conditions apply. Offer ends April 30 unless extended.
AFL Nation for the Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for $5.95 at Macca's. And Liquorland, easy to shop with over 700 stores.
Fantasia begins his approach, starts it right, it's coming back, and he sneaks it home. It almost shaved the post, but it didn't, and that's all that mattered. First score on the board going the way of the Bombers. They are getting there. Cunnington, wider still. Pittard on the 50, goes with the left, it's coming back, that's a better looking kick. Pittard gets the goal. North Melbourne get there first.
Goes long, Danaher against Thompson. Thompson got into his back, spills to Danaher. Danaher goals! From 15 metres out, Essendon fans go mad. Now Dumont again goes to the 50. That's a better kick. And the Hall dropped the mark. It was a difficult one. It was a bit of a slider. Now it spills to Zurha, who spins out of trouble and kicks a magnificent goal. Don't mess with the Zurha.
Opportunity for it to come out now. Here's Orazio Fantasia, bending it back for his third. Boy, are they hot at the moment.
Spills once again to McDonald, Tipperwoody. Centering kick to the tip of the goal square. Bell Chambers, throw from the side, plays on. Handball. It's another Essendon goal. This time to Brown, who waltzed into the goal square. And now Essendon have complete control of this match. Essendon regain it. Handball comes to Brown on the boundary. Tries to thread the eye of the needle. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the TAC help us towards zero goal of the day. That was from the boundary line and went straight through the middle. Never looked like missing. Brown's got two. Booker to Ridley. Inside defensive 50 goes short. Disaster. Redmond overran it. Brown from point blank. And we need the Benny Hill music after that one, as Brown gets his first for the afternoon.
Picked up by Bell Chambers. Hacks it to half forward. It's marked by Danaher. He's 60 metres out from goal.
He goes bang with a big kick. It's close. It's close. Magnificent! Merritt riding shotgun, and he gets the handball received now. Takes it to half forward. Kicks to the tip of the goal square. And it's the first gamer. Braden Ham, as good as directly in front, 12 metres out from goal.
For a moment that he will never forget, Quarters, so long as it's straight.
So long as it's straight. Braden Ham,
get around him.
First game for Essendon, brings home the bacon. And every Essendon player runs to him and gives him a pat on the head, and why not?
This is the last rights now, and it'll just come back short to Tarrant, who takes the mark. But today, it's all about the Essendon Football Club. They were 0-2 and looking in trouble. They've recovered magnificently, finding themselves in the 8 at 3-2. Let's listen to the song.
Boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame.
AFL Nation highlights for the TAC. Marked and unmarked police cars, buses and motorbikes are conducting more drug tests. More places, more often. TAC, help us towards zero.
Yeah, celebrations are continuing in the winning rooms. That, of course, is the Bombers' rooms for Giant Bicycles factory back sale on right now. And that's where we're going to go, straight down to the Bomber rooms. Mitch Cleary is there with a young man who was sensational today. Mitch, 36 disposals and all class.
Thanks, Sandy. Big grin on Dylan Shields' face. Dylan, you just had a moment with your teammates behind closed doors there, singing Bohemian Rhapsody. Can you tell us what that's all about?
I usually request anything with lyrics at the footy club. They like to play a bit of doof and, you know, things that you walk away with a headache. So a bit of Queen after the game was nice to celebrate the win.
Big stage for you. You crossed from the Giants to the Bombers for exactly this. How does it feel to play on the big stage and get it done?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to be able to, you know, come to a club like Essendon, and you know it's always more enjoyable when you're winning, that's for sure. And you know, the guys are really enjoying playing in the moment, and you know, hopefully we can keep this momentum going.
Mitch, Dylan, Sandy Roberts here with Steve Quartermain and Liam Pickering. 2 very average weeks and 3 excellent weeks. It appeared to us almost like flicking a switch. I mean, what happened in those first 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I think I've been asked that question 100 times and I still can't find the answer, Sandy. But unfortunately, the footy, there is no switches to turn it on. We just kept training consistently. We had some pretty tough conversations and reviewed the first couple of games, and fortunately we were able to turn it around. Guys were certainly playing some good footy at the moment.
Yeah, it's an excellent warm-up for Anzac Day next week, which I'm sure you'll be looking forward to, playing on one of the most important days on the footy calendar. On a lighter side, I loved it. I love it when a new player comes into the game, and when Braden Ham had the opportunity of kicking the goal late in the quarter, you guys came from everywhere. It's a wonderful moment for that young player, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. My key message was, first game he gets a goal, and it's taken me a few more weeks longer than him, so hopefully I can join him. But guys, I actually got to head off now. Woosh is calling the team for our wrap-up meeting, so I've got to cut this one short.
All right. Thanks for your time anyway.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
Dylan Shield, briefly, down in the Essendon rooms.
Amazing. They never cut short the TV interview, do they, with a bit of hang time? Radio ones are easy to cut off.
Oh, wow.
He was terrific. He really was fantastic today, Dylan Shield. He's working into some serious form.
And one of the reasons I'm sure he chose Essendon was the fact that he can play in games like Anzac Day.
Well, no question.
Correct.
They're a big club.
With all due respect to the Giants, who are going places this year.
It'll be the biggest game he's played in.
Yeah, they'll never get to experience that. Certainly not in the short term anyway, unless they play a prelim again or grand final.
Yeah, well, I think the Giants are capable.
Every chance, yeah. But for a home and away match, and some people argue it's the most special day of the year.
Well, it's one of the biggest games. We talked about it before. It's a special day, and he'll get an opportunity, and I'm sure he'll play well in it.
Looking forward to him taking on that Collingwood midfield. That's going to be a shootout, the OK Corral in the midfield.
These blokes play like they did today. They're going to be more than a handful. Don't worry, the Essendon boys.
Pickers, you've got a number of awards to make. Would you like to start them now? Are you ready?
I'm ready whenever you are, Sandals. Yes.
Righto then. Well, let's start with the Rookie of the Day. And that is for MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts.
I've gone with Braden Ham. I thought for a debut, he's only a little fella. He came in late. He had 10 disposals. He was involved in a lot of passages of play, and he kicked a goal. So I'm going with Braden Ham today.
You need an apprentice or trainee, you need MEGT.
This will be an interesting one today. Bendix breaks big moment. Fit Bendix or nothing?
Well, I haven't changed my view since the halftime break. I reckon the second quarter snap by Andrew McGrath. He's a star, Andrew McGrath. Don't worry about that. He just got the momentum from a really pedestrian game to all on Essendon's terms in about the space of... They kicked 3 goals after that in 3 minutes.
Want cleaner wheels? Fit Bendix brakes.
Hip pocket workwear and safety tackle or tackler of the day?
Well, I think the tackler of the day and the best tackle of the day was by the same bloke, Jen Anderson. I thought his tackle in the first quarter was unbelievable. He ended up having 10 and the most tackles in the game, as he always does, Jed. That's just how he plays.
Hip pocket workwear and safety, they've got you covered.
Goal of the day for TAC. Help us towards 0. I reckon it's down to 2.
Well, it is down to 2.
I'm tipping you like the romance.
Oh,
I don't see Liam as a romantic type, to be honest. I think he's got a romantic bone in his body.
I've been known to skim stones and talk about feelings and listen to watch beaches and the like. Mitch Brown, I thought his snap on the boundary line was the best goal of the day. But the Joe Danaher big, long bomb from the middle of the ground was also spectacular.
So who's got it?
Mitch Brown.
Okay, more drug
pretty
tests.
Good goal, that.
More places, more often. TAC towards 0. Very important message given the Easter long weekend. Please, people, take care on the roads.
The Glenn Cameron Group can do mark of the day.
There wasn't a lot of high-flying marks, though. I can think of one Ben Brown mark where he used one hand to take it in and then to clasp it with the other one. But I thought probably Adam Sards in the last quarter was as good as any. It wasn't anything really high and spectacular, but it was a good mark.
The toughest player for the Iveco 2018 plate run-out.
Today I thought it'd be pretty hard to go past Zach Merritt. I thought he was terrific today. His hard attack on the footy, his inside work in particular was great.
The Iveco 2018 plate run-out is on now.
And we come now to the CRT player of the day. CRT helping you grow. And, of course, this is our voting, 3, 2 and 1.
You could probably accuse me of giving them in the order of the stats, but I've given them in the order, I would think, of the most important players on the ground. Fantasia was terrific in the forward line. No vote for you, Orazio, unfortunately. I've given 1 vote to the captain, Dyson Heppel. I thought he was just fantastic today. 32 disposals, 3 tackles, 5 clearances, 6 inside 50s.
It's a good all-round game.
Great leadership today, Dyson Heppel. 1 vote. 2 votes, Zach Merritt. 39 disposals.
And 39.
The leading disposal winner on the ground. 7 clearances, 9 tackles, 6 inside 50s. Couldn't still pip this bloke. Dylan Shield, 36 disposals today. 10 inside 50s. 866 metres gained. He is a player that makes something happen.
He's
ahead.
the player Essendon needed to take
He's
that
exactly
next
that
step.
player. And he's a player they've been chasing for a number of years. They've been always in the mix, the Bombers, and it's only been the last 2 and 3 years that they've got him to drop. And that's, they've got Shield.
Smith.
They got Smith and they got Stringer last year. They got Sard. They're actually now hand-picking the guys that are going to help.
And people want to go there again.
Absolutely. And Essendon are a big club. They're a serious football club. So it's no real surprise people would come back and want to play at Essendon.
Local knowledge and know-how, CRT, helping you grow. So there we are, Dylan Shield getting the 3 votes for an outstanding performance. I think also we have a bit of time we can perhaps look at the matches still to come at some stage quarters in this round.
We sure can, and let's start tonight. How do you see that match over in the West, Liam?
Well,
it's wet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a horrible day, apparently. By all accounts, my friend rang me and said, he said, because he was looking for he thinks Port Adelaide can win. I said, I don't think they can win. I think it's going to be a West Coast win, but he said the conditions over here are going to be atrocious. Windy, wet, but I still do think that West Coast will be too strong. Those big bodies, I think, will be too strong at home.
Tomorrow, we've got the Giants hosting the Fremantle Dockers. Well, after what we saw last week down at Cardinia Park, the Giants are certs.
Well, you'd think so. I couldn't see how Fremantle, who I think are a mundane football team at best,
can't kick a winning score, can they?
Well, they're not going to win kicking 7, 8 goals every week. I mean, they had one game in the first game of the year. They said, it's got a new game style. Well, what's happened since? They're averaging about 70 points or 60 points. They cannot beat the Giants.
I can't wait. I'm doing this game tomorrow. Melbourne St Kilda. The Saints are a chance.
I think the Saints will win.
That's going to be interesting. Do you agree with the selection or non-selections that Melbourne made this week?
Just
remind me. Oscar McDonald.
Yeah, drop.
So Lewis and Jetta are in mainly because St Kilda got a pretty small, quick forward line.
Who they also Oscar and who else went out? Wasn't Tom McDonald, was it?
No.
Oscar and someone else.
Trying to remember.
I haven't got a look at the teams in front of me, but no, I think originally in my selections I selected Melbourne, but I just got a feeling they might just be a fraction too hard. St Kilda, the way they're playing, they might just be a bit hard for Melbourne.
Give us a call on the Liquorland open line, 1300 736 736. That's 1300 736 736. And another fascinating game tomorrow night, Richmond-Sydney Swans. A couple of good players back for the Tigers. The Swans are
teetering.
Oh, they are teetering. That's a perfect word for it. They're teetering.
Upset. I'm going for an upset here. I think that Swans can win.
Hey?
Yeah, I
really?
do. I think
at Marvel. Here at Marvel.
I think it'll suit them. I think they're not going any good at home. They've already won here this year. I thought it was at the MCG.
No, it's at Marvel.
Even better.
Okay.
Buddy Franklin get hot. He's got no Alex Rance. He'll play on Dylan Grimes. He'll be too mobile for him.
Might as well enjoy his last few games in Sydney, Sandy, before he goes to Collingwood or something.
Packing the bags.
Wherever he's got.
Of course he's not.
Now we move on to Sunday. The Bulldogs, Carlton, and a few people are tipping an upset here. I can't see it.
I can't, but I can understand why people perhaps are thinking they could break through.
So can I, and it wouldn't surprise me. I'm picking the Mutts.
Now, Adelaide in all sorts. Playing the Gold Coast Suns, who are 3 wins.
It's got a lot of the St Kilda and Melbourne about it. If you're picking on form,
the
Adelaide
Suns couldn't beat Adelaide at Adelaide.
They've never beaten them. They've never beaten them anywhere. At home or away. But
Josh Jenkins dropped, by the way, if you hadn't heard the news earlier today.
I've heard the news.
That's big news.
Probably a couple of other lads pretty lucky they didn't have a red line put through their name.
I totally agree. Look, I think Adelaide will win at home. I think they've got to bounce back. They've got enough talent in the team to be able to win at home. If the game was on the Gold Coast, I might not pick them, though.
Now, we move to Monday, and on paper, you'd think the Cats are good things against the Hawks, but when these two teams play, Liam Pickering, you just never know. It's always a raffle. Doesn't matter if one team shoots to a 5-goal lead. Things always happen when these two teams play.
Is that at the Cattery or MCG?
MCG, Easter Monday.
I just think Hawthorn's injuries, particularly to a couple of key defenders in Stratton, who
Frawley
they lost last week.
Stratton's
Frawley.
I think Stratton might play, but he's still got
to pass the concussion test.
And Frawley's out for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, and you take those two out of that back six. It leaves a fair hole.
O'Meara's back for the Hawks.
Yeah, they'll get O'Meara back. He's a big inclusion. Look, it's going to be they're always good games. You beat us by a point last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A point. But the Cats really...
And the Hawks were a fair way in front from him.
Hawthorn, they were in front all day, and the Cats somehow got back within a point. Look, Quarters has been pretty cocky. After the Cats, he was barracking flat out for the Giants last week. He got home. This is how cocky this bloke is. This is what he did to me last week. No, this is fair dinkum.
Hey, this is a private conversation we had.
I don't care. I'm now outing it. So what's happened is we're calling it. I'm accusing him. He was accusing me of hubris before the game. The Cats get rolled, and he's barracking in his call. It was a very biased one-eyed anti-Geelong call at Geelong. And I have to cop him all afternoon, right? Anyway, I get home. I'm just relaxed. I've just driven back the hour and a bit from Geelong. I've got in there. I've just put the feet up and cracked the beer. And next thing he sends me through the dictionary definition of hubris. And then I just sat there and stewed it. I waited until 5 minutes after the final siren of the St Kilda Hawthorn game the following day.
Which unfortunately didn't end well for the Hawks, Sandy.
No. And I sent back the exact message I said, is this what you meant? So we are bringing it on for next Monday.
That's what you call getting hit by the karma bus.
The karma bus. It wasn't even 24 hours. He got run over by the karma bus.
I deserve that back.
So who's going for who in that match?
I'm going for the Cats.
I'm going for the Cats.
Yeah, I'm going for a Cat.
Cats should win by 10 or 12 goals.
This is the other thing. He reversed psychology.
Yes.
It's absolutely pathetic. Hey, what's going on the social media front from Corey McKernan? My eyes are pretty rotten. So
for a fierce North Melbourne person to watch this served up on a day when we fought for and a time slot we used to own is hard to watch. When does the time come for the club to decide to do, in capital letters, something rather than accept what is being dished up and we are expected to swallow?
Wow, that's a big whack.
That is a big whack from a former club champion.
Yeah.
And I've got another interesting tweet here too from Mason Cox.
The big American?
Yeah, the big American who
he
doesn't really know a lot about Australian culture, but he's been here long enough and he's a smart cookie. This is what he's tweeted. Very interesting. The only music that should be pre-game on Anzac Day is the bugle being played for 1 minute and everyone paying respect. A big fan of Birds of Tokyo at Adam Weston, but they should be halftime entertainment or post-game entertainment. So that's a very interesting and astute observation from Mason Cox on the events on Anzac Day when it's been announced that Birds of Tokyo are going to play pre-game.
I would quite agree with you.
And I 100% agree with you.
Fully support.
And I think most people do.
Yeah.
That's what we all said before the game, wasn't it? Why do we need something else before the game?
We don't.
We don't.
We've got everything.
Not on this day. On other days, yes, and you've got your grand final and whatever, but on this day, which is basically a sacred day for this country, and the most emotional day on the football calendar.
Yeah.
We do not need...
completely misread the mood of the meeting, the AFL, in this one, I believe.
Correct. And it's interesting because Mason Cox is an American, as we know.
Yep.
Mason Cox, the Americans treat their soldiers like heroes.
Like
they
no matter where you are or what function or event you attend, they are always introduced at the start.
They treat their flags with honour. They are a genuine...
It's an interesting observation from a guy.
It is.
From who hasn't been in the country a long time.
Yeah, well, it might be the most obvious one. And it might be very well be that they're going to have a bit of egg on their face here. I don't think they're doing... Look, they're not doing anything wrong. Don't get me wrong. I just don't
it's just not needed.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
And it's not adding anything. So let's take a couple of calls, shall we? James is in Berwick. And... he's going to join us now. James, you weren't happy with the skipper today?
No, I'm just coaching, mate. Week after week, why is people playing in the forward line?
Well, it's a reasonable question. I have to admit, I felt he was completely horribly out of form today, playing as a forward. He's a very good player. He's your captain. I would like to see him being used a bit more through the midfield because when you're having a dirty day and you're playing forward in a team that's getting thumped, it's a very lonely place to be, the captain in particular. So,
is he? He's been a great warrior for the Kangaroos. Is one of the reasons he plays up there now is because his body's so banged up that he really can't spend much time in the midfield.
No, I think that he is a good forward. When he's in form, he's a good forward. But if he's usually coming from the midfield forward. He's not he's been predominantly, as James has quite rightly pointed out, he's predominantly just playing deep forward.
Yeah.
And they're kicking it high. Mind you, I wouldn't want to be a forward the way North are using the ball by foot today. Their kicking was deplorable.
Yeah, it was,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and they played with no speed. They played such slow, reactive football.
Very conservative, as we touched on in the first quarter in a bit. It was just very conservative football.
Yeah, well, if you're going to play that slow football, it wouldn't matter who you had up in the forward line today. Essendon had the numbers back. It was getting in there that slow, they could have put back 15.
Yeah.
Time it got in there, whereas Essendon were pinging it forward, playing on from marks. North Melbourne were doing nothing, going back behind. And then what were they doing off half-back? Going backwards. Again. And even those kicks, the easiest kick in the game, kicking it from half-back flank to back to the goal square, were bouncing twice. Or bouncing away from their teammates.
Yes.
It's just basic stuff. I don't reckon they could have put together a worse bunch of skill level players today than they did.
I think it'll be very interesting, the result of this loss, the outcome.
How much heat will Brad Scott feel?
How much heat will Brad Scott feel, and what will transpire at the selection table next Thursday?
I reckon this is probably coming back to where everyone thought North were last year. They exceeded expectations. This year we thought they would go on.
A false dawn, you think?
And then they're back to where we probably thought they'd be a year ago.
But they should have been really considered what they've gained. They've got Pollock and they've
addressed
Hitter,
the speed issues.
Yeah, so
Hibbard, Hall.
Yep.
They're just not playing with any I don't know what you'd even say. Have you got any spirit? Well, not so much spirit, but no real drive.
They were
today.
flat. I mean,
it's
it's round 5 and had everything to play for today in front of 48,000 people on a very special day, Good Friday.
Yeah,
they were flat.
They ruined it today. Unfortunately, they were embarrassing today.
Well, they got away to that shocking start where they could manage only 1 goal, 6 or 7, and it just went downhill from there, unfortunately. But that just about takes us out, Quarters.
Yeah, just repeating the final scores, Sandy. 17-14, 116 Essendon. 58-point winners over North Melbourne, 7-16-58. Now we head over to the west, to Optus Oval, where it's the Eagles versus Port
AFL
Adelaide.
Nation for the Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for $5.95 at Macca's. And Liquorland, easy to shop with over 700 stores.